What's up? So, pretty cool day today. Shot with Brock. A lot of new stuff. Trying to get some rehab footage and a new intro clip. Time to redo that, freshen it up. I've been with those for quite some time now. And keep moving, right? That's the plan. So it's been cool working with Brock all day today. I'm exhausted. I can do a lot of working out, figure that out. And I got some work to do on the leg a little bit later. It's a little bit different protocol for tonight's rehab. I want to share that with you guys. For anyone else who's got some knee or leg issues coming up, this is what we're gonna do. This is some blood flow restriction stuff, some BFR. It's a protocol from Kstar. Talked to him earlier. Should have a little clip in here kind of him explaining why we're doing this, what the purpose of it is, and what we're trying to accomplish, right? Since I'm not terribly smart, I don't know the names of all mussels or fishes, we're just gonna let him explain it.
Hey, welcome back to Mobility Watts. Kstar hanging out with Dr. Sean, Dr. John. Matt Vincent, we have prescribed for him something called BFR. Blood flow restriction. And one of the very low-tech models for increasing sort of upregulation of the system is to occlude and limit some of the blood in the system, right? So one of the things that we've done with him is he's about less than a week post-op, right? He's starting to feel like he can start to play. He's been pumping like mad. But now one of the things that we've been trying to do, get him with the Voodoo Floss bands, is do a combination of Mark Pro and Voodoo. So what's happening is we're trying to get a good compression around the leg high up, and then letting it rock there, and at a compression tension that's maybe allows him to go 3 to 5 minutes, right? So he's not freaking out.
Right.
And we know that there's a lot of good science to support this. What are some of the reasons for BFR? Doctors?
Well, I mean, I think one of the benefits of it is, especially someone who's so early post-op, is you can start to get into upregulate the system, get that muscle hypertrophy potential in there at very low loads right away, and that's fantastic for someone who's just so early post-op, may not be able to handle a lot.
And what's happening there is because you're creating a low, basically a ischemic environment, a lower oxygen environment, you've sort of included some of that blood flow in there. That's the mechanism that triggers that hormonal cascade that says, hey, we need to repair things. Right. You know, growth hormone kicks on, all the things that are sort of responsible for tissue healing, upregulating the system, and then locally the system experiences this ischemic shock, this temporary ischemic shock, and it triggers things like angiogenesis, which is a remodeling of the blood vessels, the small blood vessels in the body.
And you can do this at loads, they say 20 to 30% of 1 rep max, which really you couldn't be doing 80, 90%, which is our dose necessary for these kinds of strength responses. That's not tolerable a week after these types of surgeries. So you can get a sufficient training dose to maintain and create the healing factors in the situations where without something like the BFR, you wouldn't really be able to
you're just doing the work, right? And one of the things that's amazing about this is that we've got him banded, you've seen the video, he's pumping. Now he can't even weight bear on his leg, it's touchdown. So we can't, I mean, besides him moving his leg through the air crazily, we're not gonna get a lot of load in here, but that muscle contraction is going to, with the occlusion, is going to start to create high environments where it is, starting to burn, right? And one of the things we do is we turn it on, we turn it off, we turn it on, turn it off. So we can keep the joint unloaded, but we can actually get this musculature to start to experience this ischemic event. Now, one of the things that's amazing about this is the rebound effect. One of the things that we're not always thinking about is the loss of vasculature compliance. How well do the arteries and veins dilate, especially after post-surgery? This is an easy way to make them work really hard and then have full flush out. And we see it as an amazing flush response.
Right. And it really addresses that issue. I think we've, as therapists, treated those patients who just had those swelling problems that persisted, and you just can't go on to the next step. Can't load a joint that's continually swelling. If you can hit this right away, you really sidestep some of those roadblocks down the line that prevents you from going on into the later stages of rehab.
Would you do this if someone was numb?
Numb?
No.
No, there you go. Would you wrap over an open wound?
Hell no.
No. Would, is this appropriate for someone with vasculature problems?
No.
No. So we're thinking this, I mean, a healthy person here, it's very simple. Voodoo floss your leg, do some quad sets, get some pumping in, 3 to 5 minutes, pop it off, get a flush. And when you see that, it's highly reproducible and very effective. And people have been doing Katsu, blood flow restriction, in places like Japan for ever and ever and ever. But a single dose is pretty powerful.
Right.
Anything you would add?
I'd just say, we want to put the parameters out there that, you're not going to the intensity level that you would with our voodoo. If you're doing tissue work, basically, you're not going to be going to that level of intensity. Maybe it's like a 6 to a 7 out of 10 tightness, not a 10 out of 10 like you probably experience with the voodoo.
Yeah, and you should be able to last 3 to 5 minutes, no problem, right? Which is a long time.
Yeah.
And the research is that if you did make it too tight, you're going to get some feedback right away. Right. And even then, you're still probably safe.
Right. Yeah. And try it on yourself first. If you're not sure how you want to put on one of your clients or something, try it on yourself. Do some air squats, do some quad sets, something like that. See what the feeling is, so you can educate your own clients about how.
You'll even notice that if you use the machine like Normatec, which is compression boots we're fans of. They have one of their settings. Part of the normal flush is it actually locks off pretty high on the leg and holds that for about 30 seconds, and it releases. When it's tight, you can actually feel your blood pressure go up. You can feel like you're starting to work hard, and then it releases, and boom, the flush in your leg gets powerful. So a lot of this is about hormone, about vasculature compliance, and reperfusion of tissues that may not be getting the blood flow because we've disrupted them. This is basically like forcing the spitball out of the system.
All right, so that seems good, right? Makes sense. So that's what we're gonna do. So I'll show you guys how I'm gonna hook up the pads and how I'm gonna run it, and how I'm gonna use the Powerdot to hook it up, and what we're trying to accomplish. So talk to you guys shortly, and check out this sweet rehab work. So like I said earlier, I'm going to put you guys through and show you a little bit more in detail, right, of what some protocol that Kelly has set out for me. For those of you who haven't been paying attention, Kelly Starrett, Supple Mobility Wad. Check him out below, it's all linked. So I'm using the Powerdot for surgical rehab, and one of the things I'm going to be doing with this muscle stim unit is going to be something he calls BFR treatment, so blood flow restriction. It's using some, we're going to tie off up here and do some occlusion. That's the word I'm looking for. I'm not terribly smart. So we're going to get to it, and here's how it's going to go. So first thing you can do, like I'm stuck in a straight leg brace. Everyone's situation is going to be a little bit different. I'm post knee surgery a couple days, and so one of the things we're trying to do is reduce swelling and get the quad firing. Those are 2 big keys to get done really quickly. So first things first, I'm going to take off my brace and get my sleeve down. The other thing is going to be pad placement. What I'm trying to do is get the entire leg working and flushing blood. So I'm going to have pads set up on the calf and pads set up on the quad, and I'll show you what program I'm using in the machine to get the most out of it. You've got 2 various types of pads. You're going to have these big long pads, and then you've got your singles. Your big pad's going to end up on the head of the muscle, so this will go back of the knee, like top of the calf, and the 2 small ones will work their way down the leg. And then when we go to the quad, big pad's gonna go all the way up top where everything ties together, and the smaller pads are gonna go on the head of each. So if you make a muscle and make a quad, you're gonna be here, and then where that teardrop would be, which mine's not doing a whole lot right now. The next are going to be hooking up the units. Now these are going to be Bluetooth, they're going to run off your phone, and that's the big reason I'm using the Powerdot. It's just simple for me. I don't have wires hanging off. I can cover everything with my sleeve, and they run off my phone. It's something I'm already carrying. I don't have to carry another device, plus be on crutches. Simple. So you've got 2 types of leads, and you have a long lead and you've got a short lead. For something like this, I'm going to use a long lead. If I was going to be doing like a bicep, short lead, of course, right? So everything's going to run off your app. The Powerdot app, it's going to fire up, and then it shows you all the different stimulation exercises or programs that it's got built in. So we're gonna go with massage. This is just gonna be that consistent pump. It's gonna be about a 20-minute exercise. You can run as many times as you need. For the thing that we're doing right now, we only need about 5 or 10 minutes. So the bigger muscle that I'm using here out of the two is gonna be my quads. I'm setting it to that. So massage program, it's basically just gonna be various pumps. It's not gonna be any tightening of the muscle. Recognizes both devices. Get started. It's got some do's and don'ts. Under don'ts, don't put it on your genitals. I mean, it's America, it's up to you. So it's gonna show you your pads, and they're gonna be hooked up together. And so from there, you can actually adjust each thing individually, each pad individually to get the muscle stimulation you're looking for. So I'm gonna start cranking it up, and you're gonna start seeing some movement in my leg. So now that I've got some movement to where I want it, I'm gonna pull my sleeve back on. Having some compression on the leg is gonna be great for this protocol, because after we're done filling the leg with blood, this is gonna help get things moving and some fresh nutrients and fresh blood back into the leg. That's about the strength I'm looking for right now. I'm also gonna work on contracting my quad and pumping my foot to straighten the leg and get the quad going as well while this is happening. Now the fun part, the occlusion comes in. I'm using one of Mark Bell's slingshot bands. You could use voodoo floss or whatever you tie off for heroin with. Anything's gonna work. So you're gonna go pretty high up into the hip and groin, pull some pressure. And now that you're tied off, so I'm not tied off so tight that blood can't get in. So blood's gonna be able to get in, has more pressure than it can get out. So now I'm gonna work on squeezing the quad, pumping the calf, and letting this thing go basically until I can't stand it. So you're gonna do some holds. Hold for 3 seconds with the quad or 5 seconds, whatever you can really handle at this point, depending on how far you're into your recovery. 2 weeks from now is gonna be a lot different than what I'm currently dealing with. So this works like a pump in the gym. I can feel everything starting to get stiff and really tight, and it hurts the quad when I'm starting to contract, and not in a bad way. This isn't bad for the surgery, this isn't bad for the knee. Oh, it feels really bad. So I'm just about 5 minutes into this, and at the 5-minute mark, I'll see how I'm feeling, and then we're gonna pull and let it flush. So we're gonna go ahead and pull and call it, and feel like I'm pretty swollen, blown up. So you're gonna leave your compression on, any type of compression sleeve and sock, and that's gonna help push all this back out of it once we get. That's nice. That's what Arnold was talking about. A couple pumps. So this is something that you can be able to repeat a couple times a day and work on trying to get fresh blood, fresh nutrients to whatever your injury is. And that's gonna really promote some healing, blood flow in the area, reduce some swelling, help you get back on your feet sooner. So that's a little bit more in-depth view for you guys using the Powerdot. I really do love this system. I mean, you can see it right now, covered up. This is easy for me to travel with. I can use this in a hotel room. I don't have a gang of wires I'm dealing with. The power is strong. I get about 6 or 8 hours, I think, out of a charge. Simple USB hookup for charging them. It's a great unit. That's it. That's the end of a pretty long Sunday. Filming with Brock was a lot of fun. That was a lot of work. Flopping around back and forth on the knee. No pain. No big deal. So this is day 4, and I am painkiller free, right? So I am taking for pain. I am still taking Kratom. Look that stuff up. Urban Ice Pharmaceuticals is the brand I'm using. Chris Bell recommended it, and I've been a huge fan. I don't have any opiate addiction problems in my past. I just rather not have opiates in my system. I don't like the way I feel. This has been a fantastic alternative for me. But we'll see how that continues. Did all my rehab today. Knees are really tired. It's gonna be good to sit down and get off of it and give it a break. So, as usual, thank you guys for watching. It's another day of rehab. Hopefully you guys can, if anyone out there, it seems like a lot of people commenting and saying ACL issues and other stuff. If you've got swelling in your joints, try some of this occlusion stuff. I'm gonna have a code for you guys relatively soon. if it's not already down below, for my Powerdot. Give you guys a discount on it, and it's a great unit that, I mean, look, if you're a serious athlete, you should have some type of a muscle stim device to help recovery. That's what I believe. So, good night. Spread hate. Always party.